Alright. Now this is the game. This is the game. Holy moly, this is the game I've been waiting for such a long time. The last time these two teams faced each other, TSM versus Misfits, you know, the Misfits took the game in a long match. They had the LeBlanc, they had the composition that was very hard to engage on, and they could dash in, dash out, and they played it very well in the later parts of the game. LeBlanc scaled very well into that matchup, and TSM just struggled to do anything else, and then double lift on that Kog'Maw, got caught, and you know, Misfits were just slowly picking them apart. Let's see what happens in this one. Maybe we see a LeBlanc ban. As it seems, you know, the secret recipe to beat TSM right now seems to just be put the double lift on something else that isn't Tristana. But I think there's more to it than that. I felt like Svenskeren was very inactive in the last game, and I feel like that is where the problem is. Let's take a look at this match. Picking ban, let's press it right there. Let's mute it, expand it to the max. Boom. TSM started with the Orianna ban. I really like the Rakan blue side ban into lining yourself up to first pick Janna. I like that a lot because Janna is good against Jarvan. You can give it up, you don't need to ban it, and then all of a sudden you're in such a good state. Varus ban, does this mean that you want to first pick Tristana here? Tristana is banned already from Misfits. I want to see Rakan ban here from TSM. I want to line themselves up for a Janna, and then like Janna Xayah is so OP. Janna Kate seems also really OP for some reason. You know, Kate is back. Is looking phenomenal. I feel like Rakan ban is for sure the best. I feel like teams are overrating Jarvan so much. They should just ban Rakan, look for first pick Janna, and if Janna is banned, nah. Janna ban, well, TSM are looking for Lulu first pick, or I'm assuming TSM are just gonna go for like the old school thing, like first pick Jarvan. You know, first pick Jarvan doesn't seem too exciting anymore. It really doesn't. But to be fair, you know, in this case, all the ADs that are out of the way, you know, ADs that are banned, you know, Tristana's out, all the other ADs are gonna get stuck in place. The main thing here, if TSM decide to pick Jarvan, Misfits will get Xayah Rakan. They will get Xayah Rakan really clean, or in this case, you know, Misfits will get Jarvan Rakan and they're also happy. I think picking Xayah is a must. Interesting. Like Misfits shown in the past that they are willing to pick Xayah and go with a different support. They picked Thresh the last time in this case, and they won a game against Flash Wolves. You know, they won a game against Flash Wolves, and it worked out. TSM are now hovering Thresh because they know. So let's see. Like, it worked out just fine, right? So I don't mind. I really don't mind. But TSM, no. Twitch again. Twitch freaking again. It sucked the last time. It sucked. And you know, if the Koreans can't pull off Rakan Twitch, why would you be able to pull off Rakan Twitch? Really crazy. I like this app here because I don't see the game time. Because, you know, if I set the game time now, it's like 40 minutes. You know, the VOD is 40 minutes long. Then I would know that TSM just got pushed into the turret and just lost the game. But let's see now. Misfits, they don't even need to pick Thresh. They're going for something different. They're going for the Crank. Blitzcrank it up. They don't care about no art and sense and meta. Interesting. I think Blitzcrank can be good against Twitch. Like when he opens in an open area with nothing blocking him, then like the hook can do amazing things, you know, for sure. So maybe that is the thought process. And in lane, like Xayah, Blitzcrank, I think they're going to beat Twitch Rakan. Not as heavily as the other bot lanes that we've seen in the tournament beat Twitch Rakan, but I think definitely Misfits bot lane should be able to pressure this matchup. Later down the line, maybe this Blitzcrank can do phenomenal things by hooking the Twitch when he opens from a side. But to be honest, Twitch can open from different angles too. Holy shit, look at this fro, dude. Look at this afro. Insane stuff. So everyone did the classic thing of picking bot lanes and their supports and their junglers. Misfits are the ones banning LeBlanc here. Let's see if Misfits are going for the last pick mid or if they're just gonna blind pick mid lane. I like flexing Jarvan to last here. I like it a lot more than just you can just pick up mid lane here. Like Orianna's out, God is also out now. You can just pick Syndra here for Misfits, and it's an easy pickup. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I wouldn't like it if Misfits put themselves in a scenario where they're playing the Ryze Cassiopeia matchup again. I don't think it would be that great. Syndra is banned. Like Misfits should pick up Ryze now, I feel. Like there's not a lot of mid laners open left, and I feel like being on the Ryze side is better than being on the Cassiopeia side in this game. Maybe Misfits are just focusing on Power Weaver's comfort here and going for the Cassiopeia. But I think Ryze should be the pick to go for here. Yeah. Okay. Good. TSM now, are they going for Malzahar? I really like the Malzahar from yesterday. Or not from yesterday, from the Fnatic day, which was 2 days ago. And I really liked what I saw. Well, we saw some Malzahar yesterday too, but I don't think it was specifically this matchup. But I think TSM, would have a good time if they picked Malzahar here, for sure. I think Malzahar is great against Blitzcrank as well. You pretty much can't get hooked unless you do something really terrible. Cassiopeia is the pick. TSM hovering. Fiddlesticks. Gnar could be a blind pick, but Misfits then could send Jace into top and then last pick Gragas in that case. And then they would have like a combo here. Like Jarvan could do fine into Gnar. They could also pick Jace into Gnar. I know that that's something that Misfits play. They could potentially go Camille into Gnar. I don't think Misfits should pick a tank here. I think they can go Jarvan, they can go Jace, they can go Camille. They could do a lot of interesting things here. Camille maybe is not the greatest against enemy team, but it's very rare that Camille is good into any meta team right now. Whoa, no! What are those? Are you serious? What? Okay, that is wild. That is freaking wild. Imagine being at Worlds playing the most important game and you just go for the Yasuo. Holy moly. That is mental. So the way Yasuo versus Gnar works is that Yasuo wants to catch the boomerang with his W, and then like the way Gnar works is that when he catches his boomerang, a lot of his cooldown is refunded. So when he doesn't catch his boomerang, it's a massive problem for Gnar. Like he loses a lot of tempo, loses a lot of pressure in general. Like he gets like a 20-second cooldown on his Q or something of that kind. Of course, the further he goes into the game, the shorter this cooldown becomes. But still, it is a massive problem. So the main thing here is that we have to pay attention to this matchup. I've seen this matchup being fine sometimes for Gnar, but Yasuo definitely counters this champion. So we will just have to see how it goes. It's like the Yasuo wind wall is really good against Twitch too. Like yesterday we saw Yasuo wind wall do a shit ton of things. It blocked, like basically what G2 were doing. They were hitting like the tank, the frontliner, and then the Yasuo wind wall like blocked so much damage from the long range carries. And like Yasuo wind wall can do great things against Twitch. You can deny his ratatata. It can also be very good against Gnar in the split push. So we just have to pay attention to this matchup. The rest of it, Ryze versus Cassio, skill matchup. It seemed like Ryze is slightly in favor. Let's see if Bjergsen just itemizes better in this game. Like by better I mean itemizing, for that AP instead of that MR. But ooh, Bjergsen no flash. Bjergsen no flash. This could be like a level 2 gank now for Maxlow. This is going to be a dangerous game now for TSM. And TSM didn't even get a counter ward because they spotted like a lot of people here from Misfits walking in. Like Why are the arrow keys? Oh, there we go. Arrow keys are not working. Like they spotted 4 people here. Why doesn't Sejuani just walk? Why not? Why doesn't Sejuani just walk here? Boom. To see where Jarvan starts. Because Jarvan level 1 information is going to be massive now. If they don't know where Max2 starts, if like Misfits commit to this idea that they fake leash and they do all this type of shenanigans, you know, then all of a sudden the situation will be very hard from Bjergsen because he's not going to know where Maxwell can potentially come from. And I feel like Maxwell, he's feeling it, man. He's feeling it. I think he should go for the level 2 gank in mid lane. You know, you can do like a red buff into blue or blue into red and do something like that, and then gank into Bjergsen. And I feel like it could massively pay off. But we will see. Doublelift is very bold, running that relic shield in bottom. You know, it's not that big of a deal, I guess. Like I have this thought in my mind that Misfits are sitting on Janna and whatever in bot lane, but I don't know. I feel like TSM could have put themselves in a better position in draft, but they didn't. They first picked Rakan to deny the Xayah Rakan combo, but Misfits just went for Jarvan Rakan. Okay, you can see that a ward was placed early, so Maxwell is going to get spotted here. No fake leash from bottom. Maxwell should know that he got sniffed out already, and TSM is just this is not that great for Maxwell. He got like 2 puppies, but these 2 puppies are not going to matter because Svenskeren is just in a better position to go to his own camp. But maybe Maxwell can just straight up invade there because Power of Evil got the push, in fact, because whoa, bio daddy. Oh, bad flash, bad heal. Okay. So let's take a step back. You know, I want to talk about how Cassiopeia had to give up pressure because she knew Jarvan was to the left and Power of Evil pushed in now, and they're using this push now to potentially pressure Svenskeren. Svenskeren has no flash. I mean, Svenskeren has no smite, so he's not doing that red buff too fast, and it looks like Maxwell is just going to pick this up here. He still has his smite. Okay, he doesn't even go for it, he just tries to contest this instead. Of course he can, like bottom just got screwed. Bottom is in base, like Rakan is in base, and he's just taking everything away. He doesn't want Svenskeren to get anything. That's the EQ combo. Svenskeren, holy moly. This is crazy stuff. Xayah is nowhere to be found, and this is not like a convincing fight anymore because Hook is off cooldown. Maybe it was just a better choice to pick up the red because I don't know how much Maxwell can stay here. Another push from Ryze, they're going for it. The EQ on doublelift. The root's gonna happen. The hook. We need the hook. Rakan, no summoners. What is happening? Holy moly. Everything is just falling into place. This Blitzcrank though. This Blitzcrank. Crazy. Crazy. What is happening, bro? Nah. So, the line of play that happened. Blitzcrank, Hook, Cassiopeia, level 1. Maxlor went for level 2 gank, but got spotted. And then he went for the invade on Svenskeren just to find him, sniffed him out at the wolves, traded with him. During this time, Cassiopeia had to play defensive, Ryze got to push for free. Massive wave, stacked into the turret already, and Power of Evil went together with Maxwell to invade the red buff. Svenskeren had to back away, he had no smite, went for the golems. Instead of Maxwell doing the red buff, he continued attacking him at the golems. This lined up perfectly because Misfits were destroying Rakan. In a case where Rakan wasn't destroyed, it would be very hard for Misfits to invade the golems. He would just take the red buff. But it worked for him to take the golems because Ignar landed a hook at Rakan and he has no summoners and had to base. When he based, all of a sudden Blitzcrank could help the golem invade, and of course after that the situation here, like I don't know what is happening in mid lane. Like mid lane during all this time, like what is happening? Like another wave got pushed in for Ryze. He just walked into mid lane. Like what? How is Power of Evil allowed to do this in mid? Power of Evil is legit just allowed to walk into mid lane, pushing the wave. Of course, Ryze has a lot of pushing power early, but Bjergsen should contest this, right? Bjergsen should contest this somehow. It doesn't seem like he's doing anything. And Ryze is just pushing in the wave completely doesn't even use all of his mana and walks down bottom, and then Cassiopeia is under the turret again. It really felt like Bjergsen could have done more contesting here, because what the hell is happening? Like, how can Power Evo just push the wave in front of his nose and nothing's happening? Is this normal? Like, is Bjergsen actually actively doing anything here? I'm not too sure. Rise just pushes in the wave completely. Hook on Svenskeren lands. He needs to flash. Xayah is just pushing in the wave. A lot of creeps under the turret. Like, TSM are losing a lot of CS bottom. And now Misfits are zoning them off the tower. Doublelift is trying to sneak in there, because look at the CS that is under the turret there. EQ lands, forcing a flash of a Doublelift, and then BioDaddy just blocks the hook. Holy moly, man. And this is a game with Yasuo in it, man. We're talking about bottom, and bottom is so impactful and crazy, and mid lane too. I just can't help but feel that Bjergsen could have contested Power of Evil more. The moment he spotted Jarvan, Maxwell got the red buff, Svenskeren level 2 now. Most Svenskeren camps are dead, but I guess Wolves are spawning soon. That's positive. Let's look at this scenario again. Like, Bjergsen is under the turret with a couple of CS. Like, he got pushed so hard that the second wave also had landed under the tower, it looks like. Is Rise just OP? Is that what we're finding out here? Or is Bjergsen, did he misplay that situation? Because the loss is so minimal for Power Evil, and he was all over the place. He is level 3 to level 4. He did lose one creep wave, which matters. He's slow pushing a wave, and he's behind an XP, so of course it matters. It would be crazy to say it doesn't matter. You know, he did lose CS. But Rise based on tier, and Bjergsen didn't, so like he's happy. He's happy. Jungle Adam finished on max lore. Svenskeren couldn't afford it because he was just getting chased off in the jungle. Okay, so what are the options here? I feel like Misfits can just continue playing this game where they just push mid and pressure with max lore. I think that should be the game plan, and then Maxwell should just try to find Svenskeren all the time. But we need to follow how this top lane thing is going, because right now it seems quite even. Like, Hansor is winning trades. Like, Hansor seems experienced, you know. He has so many Yasuo one tricks in NA, so it's not too terrible. I feel like if Gnar can play good, then he can survive this lane, buy some armor, and it's not too horrible. I feel like this Yasuo can be very good against Twitch though. I feel like his wind wall is going to be clutch in the later parts of the game. Could also be like the doom of Misfits here, that they're picking Yasuo. Who knows? That's always something you have to feel when a team is picking something unorthodox. Is that are they just inting it here, or is it actually going to be clutch? And I feel like it's going to be either one. You know, it's either going to be clutch or it's going to be like a complete complete end. And that can be said by about any Yasuo player, right? Is he better than Perks on Yasuo? I don't know. Let's find out. Crazy that Misfits didn't get like a better base, because looking at bottom they have similar items, which is like quite shocking. Kind of hope that Misfits would like snowball their advantage bigger into like a BF sword, and then they would have looked like juicier. But to be fair, like, they should afford BF sword in about like 6 CS, maybe a bit more. Then they should be able to afford BF, and they could just go for it. And then Twitch shouldn't be able to have it, and then they should be in a good state. Full stacks of poison and Hansama. Not too bad of a trade with TSM. They traded quite good there actually. But let's be honest, they also used 2 summoners, and Misfits only used 1. This is going to matter here in the long run. Also the fact that Hansama has Warlord's Bloodlust and Doublelift doesn't. he is going to heal up more on the wave, and whoa. The W got cancelled by Ignar, like the W just got straight up cancelled. But then Bifrost E'd. I don't know if that was like intentional, that he wants the enemy to cancel W and then E's. But you could just wait as well. Whoa. Power wheel with priority in mid lane, just walking straight to bottom. Hansama is quite low. No summoners on double lift has flash though. Doesn't seem to matter. Holy shit. So here, wait. I just want to see what happened topside. Like what's going on topside? Like we see this trade right now, but right now we see like this invasion here by Maxlor and Ryze. Ryze is in a good position. Yasuo's coming in. Like what's going on here? Seems like Cassiopeia has just secured their own blue, and then during this time, you know, this was a play that we talked about the previous game, where Misfits were doing the... No, not the previous game Misfits played against Flash Wolves, where they invaded blue buff, and then the enemies just had a better position for the blue buff. But what you sacrifice when you take a better position for the blue buff is you lose your position for mid lane. So instead of going for that play, where they would fight here in a very bad position, they are going for the play where Ryze gets priority because of Cassiopeia's position. Cassiopeia had to take a very defensive stance, and she grouped up with his jungler, and then Ryze just pushed in the wave and abused the fact that TSM did this blue buff thing. So Power Evil recognizing and seizing the day here. It's gonna sacrifice one wave to pressure into bottom, and it's a beautiful play. Love this a lot. Very, very good play. The more and more you think about it, the more and more makes sense. You know, like Sejuani and Cassiopeia's on top side, they took blue, they forced Cassiopeia to take a defensive position, Power Wheel gets the kill, and the wave he's losing in mid lane, you know, the enemy team is losing in bottom, they also picked up a kill. Let's see if Bjergsen can respond here. He does have flash, Ignar has his too. Instant cleanse from Power Wheel. Power Wheel just went for the root into the cleanse, into the runaway child. Okay. Bjergsen on level 7 now. He's getting like an XP advantage because Power Wheel was doing so much roaming. BF Sword on Hansama now, and they should have a lot of pressure here. Hanser is nowhere close to Mega Gnar, so this trade is really, really good. That is where Gnar has his weakness, right? He needs to play around with his Mega Gnar, and when Mega Gnar is not is nowhere to be found, then you know Yasuo can just all-in trade him and chase down the Gnar, and it can be very, very good for Yasuo. When Gnar is Mega, then he has a chance in the trade. He's even got stronger, you know, because of the base stats and all the items, and you can see that Alfari is starting to do better and better in the top side. I wish we could like analyze some lane matchup a bit more. I wish we could do that. I said, whoa, look at this, bro, Ignar, nah. So big issue now, you know, Misfits. You know, Cassiopeia's in base now. She based, and Ryze was in base too. So they're walking straight to lane now, and Ryze is a bit ahead here. He's a bit ahead, and he's already hitting the creeps. While Cassiopeia, during the time Ryze based, Cassiopeia was pushing in bot wave all the way, and then Cassiopeia based, and it was a good thing that Cassiopeia pushed in all the way. But what this means is Power Evil once again is going to push in this wave, and Cassiopeia has to catch it. So they have priority, but the advantage they got was the double lift was allowed to roam, but double lift is kind of useless. He's like he has a zeal and a dagger, and he doesn't do much. Like he's level 4. Like what is he actually going to do in a roam situation? He's gonna do nada. He's going to do 0. You looked. I get to punch all of you. No, but like double lift gets to roam with the priority that Cassiopeia created bottom, right? She pushed in the wave all the way, and then Xayah needs to catch, and then Twitch can roam. But now the difference is that Ryze, because he based before Cassiopeia, he gets to push in mid lane first, and he gets to roam. So that is the trade-off. But the trade-off here is Twitch for Ryze, and it's like, bro, zeal versus all this juicy blueness is just Not good enough. Not good enough. So, Rise kills mid-wave, but Rise is coming in right now. Now Misfits are going for the invade. The E into smite. Is that not enough damage? Doesn't seem like it. Svenskeren smites for some health. And that's a kill pickup. No cleanse. Rakan, no flash. Gets the E out. Red buff in Maxlow's pocket. They are very, very happy with this. And Infernal Drake is also spawning on bot side, which means that they can pick this up or maybe even dive bottom. Doublelift has no summoners. Rakan is also in base because he got chunked out. And Misfits. Oh, Misfits. What is happening here, man? What is happening? What is happening? Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank to win the game. Imagine, man. It's such a disaster, dude. Holy shit. Holy shit. What a way to go. But TSM, what are they supposed to do with this advantage here? Like, Cassiopeia is one level ahead, but, you know, the timing of everything seems to just go in Misfits' favor all the time. Like, everything is just falling like dominoes. Like, oh, this is happening, which allows this to happen, and they can go a step further, and then they can do this and this. It's absolutely crazy. Like, Cassiopeia pushed in the bot wave, Twitch got priority, but Twitch priority doesn't matter. Svenskeren no flash here. W of Cassiopeia stops Swallow Weaver from teleporting, which could have been very close. Like, Svenskeren can get shut down very easily now. And I don't know if Max still uses EQ combo there, but once again, this situation, Rise had priority because Cassiopeia was bottom and pushed in the wave all the way. Rise went in the mid lane, and you could see that he was just here first, and Cassiopeia is trying to come from a better angle, but the hook on Svenskeren just completely outplays him. Hansama comes after because Doublelift had priority first, but then Xayah was pushing during the time that Doublelift was moving towards top side and in the mid lane, and then Xayah pushed in, and then Xayah could move, and then Doublelift was catching a wave on bottom, and after Doublelift caught the wave at bottom, he was completely stopped there and left alone. And then Hansama does the juicy thing that he goes with his E. It's funny that Xayah has the same race as Ahri, and she kind of works in the same way with her Q and the E. Like, you kind of need to move behind the enemy so the return damage comes in for the Ahri Q. But this is crazy. Like, TSM needs to stall this game out for ages. It's not like Misfits scale bad either. Like, Yasuo scales like a mother. And then with the Twitch ultimate being able to be walled off, I think that's such a big deal. It's such a big deal for me. So TSM, during this time where they were dead and Misfits were hitting bottom tower, TSM just swapped into top lane, so they got priority there because Rakan and Twitch just went straight there while Misfits were pressuring bottom tower. So right now Misfits are kind of making the defensive play. They need to swap in the top. Rise is going to walk back into mid lane. Cassiopeia has priority here. Maybe they can do something off of this, but TSM are just going for the base here. You see that Cassiopeia didn't base for a long time. Let's see now if she buys the mask or if she buys the Road of Ages. I feel like she needs to buy Road of Ages in this one because the mask is just not that efficient against triple AD. If she buys masks, I'm gonna be really, really pissed. She needs to get the freaking Road of Ages right now. Get the Road of Ages, bro. If you get Abyssal Mask, I'm pissed. Just press X so we can see it, man. Press X. Okay, Blasting Wound. Good shit. Road of Ages. Now the next thing coming up, even though TSM swapped into top side, they just instantly based and swapped again because they feel like if they are in the same lane matchup here as Misfits, then it's a BG. But at the same time, you know, it's not that terrible. Like, if Misfits are gonna get top side and they put themselves in a swap scenario, they avoid this hard lane matchup. I feel like this is the best thing Misfits can do. Like, this is not, I mean, the best thing that TSM can do. Imagine if they matched here, they would have just gotten stomped here. Like Misfits are so far ahead of the enemy bot lane, they would have just gotten stomped. So TSM pushing in top and then swapping is the best thing they can do because they actually secure an Infernal Drake, but then should get bot tower. Misfits will get Rift Herald, and they should be happy with this. And then you can argue, like, if Misfits in some of the past plays maybe could have just secured the Infernal Drake at some time, and that's like a different question, right? That's a completely different question that you have to think about, and you know, now is not the time for that question. Crazy, crazy, holy moly, I am mind blown. I can't believe it, man. Imagine Blitzcrank in Ardent Sense and meta, man. Misfits, they play a game of trash and then they play Blitzcrank and it's working. It's freaking working. But TSM do a very good play. Like they push in top, they use the priority to push in top. Misfits, bot lane is going up top lane. TSM are basing, walking down bottom, and I feel like this is the best thing they could do. Like imagine in the situation they are in. In the situation they are in, they got some damage in the bottom tower. They got an Infernal Drake. I think that's amazing. If they matched, they wouldn't have gotten anything. Yasuo would have been against Gnar, Yasuo with the Phantom Dancer spike, you know, and then at the same time, Rakan and Twitch being very weak. Now with Ardent Censer, maybe they have a chance. You know, they have a Hurricane, they have Ardent Censer. Maybe now is the time to match. Maybe now they can do something. Like Ardent Censer might be like the clutch thing here. So let's see. If they match at this point in time, Twitch with Hurricane, Ardent Censer, maybe there's a chance. Maybe. So let's see now. They're walking into bottom and Misfits have a lot of priority here. Oh, Hookaroo, not landing. Cassiopea's in base too, so this is kind of awkward. I want to take a step back and see the reason why Cassiopeia base. Cassiopeia got a wave under the tower. Wave is coming in now and Rise. Cassiopeia is basing for Road of Ages. Rise already has his mask. Maxwell has Rift Herald. He's roaming around with Ignar, taking control of the full jungle. Nice pink ward here, and you know, TSM are completely suffocated for this bottom tower. I'm curious to see where Misfits actually just place the Rift Herald. But the beauty of them having so much pressure into bottom side is that Svenskeren doesn't know where to be. He doesn't know if he has to go bottom. And Rakan here, you know, they're doing pretty much the same play that World Elite is doing. It's like they are pressuring bottom, force TSM to show with people bottom, and then they rotate. And then the rotation from the enemy team will be a lot longer. Like this path that I'm painting right here is of course a little longer than going straight to mid lane. So right here, you know, it's very well played from Misfits. They are pressuring and they understand that TSM are now committing a lot of people into bottom, and now they make the rotation into mid lane. TSM are now going to back foot because they need to respond. Look at them go here. They can't even push in bottom, push out bottom completely. It's going to be an awkward position where it's slow push it towards the enemy, and the Misfits just pop the Rift Herald. TSM need to rotate, and TSM's rotation is so much later than the enemy team's rotation, right? Tower doesn't fall because Misfits, I'm not too sure about what Misfits are doing. Like Xayah is walking back and forth, and I feel like in this position Misfits could have just gone all the way and just gone into mid lane and hit the tower with Rise instead of just fapping around here. I think it would have been better, because I actually think they could have gotten this. The main thing though is that Hanser moved down, so that's also a big deal, right? The wave is even in top, and he's just moving down for a good timing. So I have to give props to Hanser. So maybe that is like the main deciding factor between why Misfits are in the position that they are. But then you should ask yourself, is it good for them to put Rift Herald now? Maybe they should keep Rift Herald, let Yasuo push top, then Gnar needs to match, and then Yasuo can roam into mid, and they can kind of rinse and repeat. So maybe the mistake here is not what I'm saying, that they should be hitting tower together. Maybe the mistake is that they put the Rift Herald in a moment where Gnar was rotating into mid. Because that is the same thing, right? Every TSM member is in mid lane now, and they could have just scattered again, and then when Hanser needs to go top to catch this wave, because Hanser couldn't stay here forever, right? Hanser needed to go top side and like clear the top side creeps, and then Xayah would push out bottom, like she was already walking towards bottom. I think Xayah was on that page, and Yasuo was also on that page. So the main thing here is like, I'm thinking, you know, save Rift Herald, and then the Hanser needs to catch top, and then all of a sudden you're in a better state. Because this Rift Herald was not exciting at all, Like imagine if they save Rift Herald for now, they save Rift Herald for now. Let's say they didn't use Rift Herald, and it would have been all the same. And now Misfits, you know, when TSM commit people into bottom here, then they go for the rotation into mid. But Hansama is doing so much damage to this turret with his W, so maybe they can just go for bot too. But imagine now, from this position, they walk into mid lane, then it's a lot better, I feel. Bjergsen, I think this is a bad fight for Misfits. Okay, 1 for 1 so far, but you know, I think Misfits are trying to control a bit too much here. Like they don't need to control that bush. They're trying to control this bush over here, over the TSM logo here. Not the logo, but the name. Like, they shouldn't want to control this space. This is just exaggerating, you know, trying to make the team rotate all the way around without taking out the towers. I think they're exaggerating quite a bit. And from this position, you know, I think the mistake here is that Jarvan is contesting here instead of contesting here. Like, this is the space that they should work for. And this is the space that they are in better position of. So let's take a look at Maxwell's decision here to go for Bjergsen. Like, no one is in range. No one is in range at all. And the main thing here is that they should have defended this push, but he's trying to defend something completely else. So this is a mistake for me. And contesting this is good. And then Xayah and so on can pressure into here. And then Bjergsen is out of position for mid lane. And Ryze can just go back mid, pressure the wave, and then they can continue their game. But this is way too deep from Maxwell, way too deep. I don't like it. Like, who's going to follow up on that? No one. No one's going to follow up on that. And then Maxwell falls, and they give TSM a bit of breathing room here. Alphari cancels his TP, so he's going to have that up first, and he's going to keep pushing top. Maybe get some damage on the top tower. Not too much though, but it's going to be something at least. With the creeps, he's not even staying. Okay. So let's get in with the smite. No problem. It's all good. This is kind of a setback in Misfits' tempo here. So Maxwell, once again, we see his EQ onto Bjergsen. Like, who's going to follow up on this? No one's going to follow up on this. Like, unless Bjergsen, like, Ignar can, like, mega extend his arm. And I don't know, he didn't even hit the EQ. And Bjergsen still has both summoners. So this is all around just bad. Bad. Really bad. Misfits need to not get too greedy with the space they are pressuring. They need to just keep pressuring like the Raptor bush and the red buff bush, and with this alone they should be able to pressure into mid and then like set themselves up to get some turrets. And to be honest, you know, TSM are fighting back. I have to give credit to Honser with that play he did to stop the Rift Herald, where he just rotated into mid without pushing the top wave. The top wave was just even, and Yasuo was there, so he alleviated a lot of pressure there, and Misfits wasted the Rift Herald. In this case, with TSM, you know, being so far behind, I think this is like the most they can do out of it, and hopefully Arden Sense Twitch can carry this game, you know. He needs maybe like one more item, and then maybe he can be super effective. But even then, like, the Yasuo wind wall is quite exciting. I wonder how this matchup plays out and when it like shifts for Alphari, like he's going for IE build, and it's going, I'm curious about when it like pops off completely, this build. In terms of the 1v1 against Gnar, like Alphari did get CS alone there for some time when Gnar TP'd, but here's the engage. Shouldn't be too bad for Misfits. Twitch is doing a lot of damage. Whew. Okay. Where's Yasuo in all this? He flashed over a wall, man. He pieced out. Holy moly. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at that Cassiopeia Twitch damage, like the poisonous combo here. So it starts off with the engage on Blitzcrank, not too exciting, but then Bifrost hits two core targets here. This is the Yasuo and the Ryze. There's no wind wall to be seen here. There's no wind wall. Like, the wind wall is used already. Like, the wind wall is quite poor, I would say. Like, the wind wall needs to be saved more for the Twitch opener. Because right now, wind wall is used, doesn't block the Sejuani ult. And I feel like, sure, if it blocks Sejuani ult, then you're golden and you can just back off. But right now, the wind wall doesn't do anything. The wind wall falls right now, and it doesn't stop Doublelift from doing a lot of damage. Like, the crits are just coming through here. Look at the damage. Look at that auto that hits Xayah here. And then the beautiful ultimate from Bjergsen, the ult into flash, and Bjergsen also did a lot of damage there. Let's take a look again. Like, I think the wind wall is crap. The wind wall is absolute garbage. Like, the wind wall is so key in what Misfits are doing, and TSM bounce back. TSM bounce back, bros. Crazy stuff. Good engage from Bifrost, and then the EQ into the Jarvan ultimate. I mean the Yasuo ultimate. Double lift is still DPSing away. He didn't get caught in the EQ. And then Yasuo had to flash over the wall because double lift was DPSing throughout this entire time. Like the people they caught was Rakan and Nar, probably, and Sejuani, it looks like. So they killed Rakan, and then no one else, and then Misfits pretty much. 4 people died. Holy moly. That kind of changes the gold differential big time, and I'm assuming we will see another big fight. I'm assuming we'll see another big fight because Infernal Drake is spawning soon. It's spawning in 1 minute. I don't think TSM is going to get it with these death timers. Mid tower is something to be happy about though. Like they have pretty much equalized most of that gold lead that Misfits got up. It's like a 2k, 3k gold lead now for Misfits. Big difference, right? Like TSM got like 2-3k gold from that fight. And it's just about to get better, you know. But it's very key here how Yasuo wind walls. Like the Yasuo wind wall is so important. It's so important. And he screwed up by not being able to wind wall the Sejuani ultimate. He screwed up for other reasons too. But the main question here, is it a good decision to begin with? The Misfits are just sieging this? Let's take a step back even further. Press the J button. So is it good that they're sieging this? Bjergsen is showing up bottom. Okay, so that is like one reason to do it. But then Bjergsen is moving. Now when Bjergsen is moving, should they just disperse? Should they just disperse and be happy with the situation? Like, to be honest, like in this case, if Sejuani ults and then Yasuo wind walls it and they just disengage and walk back, you know, then it's also fine. Because they're just trying to punish the fact that Cassiopeia showed up bottom, nothing else. That is what Misfits play is, right? They're trying to punish the fact that Cassiopeia shows bottom and goes bottom. Then Cassiopeia doesn't push out bottom, goes into mid lane. Misfits are now showing. So let's imagine a scenario where Svenskin's ultimate gets windwalled, like it's supposed to here if you're a good Yasuo, right? And then Misfits disengage, they split up, go with Yasuo into top lane, and then all of a sudden it's a different world, right? But after that, the hook lands and Bifrost does like a great engage onto 2 people. He does the E into like flash W ult, like ult flash W. Good stuff, good stuff. But to Misfits, I can't help but feel that this is quite crazy, you know, looking at the position of everyone and, you know, the EQ combo that Yasuo and Jarvan made together. It hit like pretty useless targets. It didn't hit like the core targets, which was Bjergsen and Honser. And when your AD gets one-shotted, like Hansama just got one-shotted here with both summoners up. Like, look at him. Look at him go. Boom. Hansama did nothing in this fight. And if you do nothing, you're not going to win the race of DPSing the tanks down. No fucking way. Let's take a look at what Ryze did. So Ryze got knocked up. Ryze has no flash, and then he was just in the mix and he just died. Completely understandable. He couldn't do much more. So the mistake was Windwall should have been on that hammer, and it would have been all good. Like, they forced Cassiopeia to go back in the mid lane in a wave that they don't have priority in, and Mistress could have just scattered after that. And it would have been like a great scenario. So I think the play was fine, execution was bad. Okay, TSM are back up in this bitch, and it's gonna come down to that dragon, I feel. Fight again. Okay. Oh, look at that Twitch damage though. Double lift. Can't hold him down, man. He had the worst start that I could ever think of, you know. But it's that Arden sensor and that Twitch, bro, with that hurricane. Okay, so we're talking about how the Infernal Drake is gonna be the next thing in line. Misfits have the Yasuo up top lane. Transitioned into Blitzcrank getting caught. Blitzcrank dead. TSM getting Infernal Drake. Why not? Blitzcrank being dead should be for sure free. Free Infernal here. Bjergsen is so freaking fed now. He's so fed. He played that team fight in mid lane very good. I think the only criticism I have of him, but I'm not even sure about that because we couldn't even see it. I was just looking at the minimap. I felt like that one wave where Power Vivo pushed him for free, he could have potentially contested that a bit better, because Power Vivo just pushed it in and then roamed into bottom and picked up a kill. And that was a problem for me, at least. TSM with the double Infernal. They're hyped up. Next drag is Cloud. This is the most boring drag. Just look at him. Doesn't look like Jean-Claude Van Damme at all. It just looks strange. Like, look at his face. It's like deformed. It's not good. You know, my brother's dentist, he would look at this and he would say, "Ah, free money right there. Free money." Okay. NA LCS in week 2. 3 wins, 21 losses. Worlds 2015 to 2017. That is crazy, man. NA in week 2, man. They just come in to the tournament with one strategy and then it just all falls apart in the second week because everyone figures them out. I wonder if it's like just a tilt factor, or is it just like a North American team just struggling to adapt from week to week on the same patch? Because I've noticed sometimes that like teams in NA like play the same thing for a very long time, and there's some good parts that you kind of refine the same thing over and over, but I think at the international stage, like, most teams can play a lot of different champions at the highest level, you know. I remember Cloud9, season 5, they had this one strategy with Tristana, Azir, Darius, and sometimes Veigar, and it worked. But when Dar was out of the picture, all of a sudden they had nothing to bring to the table, and it looked terrible. People are saying the same about Doublelift this year, but his Tristana, like his Twitch in this game, like from his individual play, has been very good. Except that maybe one death on bottom where he pushed out the wave, but to be honest, like, you know, this is... What else could he do bottom? Like, Rakan got hooked and chunked to shit, you know? And then he had to stay, and then he died because people were diving him and people were denying him CS, so it's been a troublesome game here for Doublelift, you know? It's been a very hard game to be more... have higher CS numbers. So this Infinity Edges, this is where Alphari is gonna finally start to pop off in the bot lane. Like, Nara's pretty fed with those 4 assists, but you know, Nara also has this level 14 level advantage, but Alphari should get it off this wave. Cassiopeia against Ryze on side lane. It's so important now that Cassiopeia is so fed. She's itemizing for Void Staff now, and Cassiopeia should just match with Ryze, I feel, on side, and she should be able to win. She just stayed in mid lane while Doublelift was trying to find the gank on bottom. Because I feel, you know, Cassiopeia should get priority on Ryze. She's so far ahead, and then Xayah and Blitzcrank should be able to push Twitch and Rakan. But the main thing is that Twitch and Rakan can like find, like, if they just pink ward and find a bush to sit in, and together with Sejuani just look for those engagements in mid lane, all of a sudden like the wave situation becomes different, you know, because TSM need to force on the enemy to force them off the wave, while Misfits just need to kill the wave, need to walk up and kind of play the situation where TSM engages on them a lot better. You know, we talked about in a lot of cases how most lanes and most teams have like good ways of responding to engages, that has been the trend at Worlds. It's not the same because Misfits are playing really off-meta champions here. They're playing Blitzcrank, they're playing Yasuo. Windwall can be very good against Twitch though, that's something that I can imagine. Bjergsen gets locked in the cage, but who's locked in with who, brother? Firefrost gets out with very low HP, Hansama, like Alphari is quite useless on this Yasuo. Let's be honest, man. Like, what's happening, man? Is this serious? Like, Misfits had the freest game ever, but Yasuo is just not paying out. It's not just paying off here. Let's take a look at the situation for Misfits. They push wave, okay, and then they go for the vision. Rakan and Twitch did in fact show. I feel like Misfits should try to ward. Misfits should try to ward further up, so they, whenever they see Twitch, they can feel a lot safer. Maxlow with his engage here is just terrible. Like, right now they should just try to hit Svenska as much as they can, but it's just too deep. It's just too deep. They can't even get through. Like, Svenska's passive has just been procced, and then he procs like his keystone, and I just don't like the situation here. Like, Maxlow can't really do much. This fight just doesn't start off too good. Cassiopeia, like, Ignar still has hook, no? Like, Ignar has hook, right? What's happening? Ignar has hook, no? Like, why is Ignar being so afraid? Like, what's happening here? I really don't understand. Why is he walking up like this and Ignar is not doing anything? Does he have no hook? Blitzcrank didn't hook anyone. Like, look at him, he didn't hook. He's walking now, he didn't hook anything. He's walking now, and why is he so afraid of Cassio? Why is Maxo not EQing the Cassio? Why are they not committing on the Cassio? Like, the Cassio's, come on. Boom. Hook. Zaya. EQ. Ryze is ulting. Ryze knows what's up. Ryze knows that this is the target right here. But Svensken is allowed to go all the way over here while DPSing this guy, and these guys are backing off. These guys are running. Like, this is the guy that should die. Like, Bjergsen is out of position right now. Like, he's so cut off. Like, we have 3 here, 1 guy coming here, and then TP is gonna come in, right? Let's see where the TP lands. TP is here. I think TP should be here. I like the TP here more. And then Maxor engages. Cassiopeia is allowed to retake a good position. She's allowed to walk all the way here, while these two are standing here, being afraid of getting Cassiopeia ulted or whatever. And the Ryze ultimate was right here. So I feel like the commitment of EQ should have been there on Cassiopeia, and then the Javan ultimate for her to flash awkwardly in some Blitzcrank stuff, and it would have been a lot better. But didn't happen. I think Misfits massively misplayed this situation. I think Bjergsen could have been punished. Bjergsen instead made the situation into a good one, and Alfari just fucking dies. To be honest, what else can he do? Like, when Jarvan just gets one shot and doesn't do anything in the fight, like, what should he do? It's very little, and I'm still not too sold about the Yasuo. I think Jace would have been better. Too much crazy in one pot, it feels, Misfits. Misfits was so far ahead though, and I thought the game was just over. I thought the game was just donezo. And now I'm feeling like the opposite. I'm feeling the opposite because Cassiopeia is so fed. She can deal with the Ryze in side lane, no problem. Like, Ryze is just a clown. It's going to be very hard for Maxo to just engage. Like, he has bought a lot of MR, but, you know, he also has Ninja Tabi. But Nara and Twitch also do a shit ton of damage, and that's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue for sure. Holy moly. Crazy stuff. I'm just trying to think back. Like, Misfits was so far ahead. They had the Blitzcrank shit going on, and then that one time Jarvan got caught, and then this like massive team fight in mid lane where the wind wall was just useless. It's the power of Ardent Sensor, guys. Ardent Sensor Twitch did so much damage in that fight. That's what it's about. So much AP on this Cassiopeia. She has 503 items. Crazy, because of those 2 Infernal Drakes. She also has Blue Potion, Baron, Road of Ages. Good shit, man. Bjergsen has definitely been like really rock solid this game. Like he didn't take any risks, which sometimes maybe could have been better if he did. But then, you know, he was in mid lane at the right time, and Honser, like I mentioned it before, like he doesn't seem to care about the fact that Malfari has some counter matchup. Like he's so much more useful than Alfari in this game, and he rotated at the right time, and it was a big deal here that Alfari fucked up that win wall, and Nar just decided to roam at the right time when Maxwell was using Rift Herald. We discussed that point too. What? Bjergsen with the flash. I think Misfits can be happy with this kind of a trade where they use ultimates for Bjergsen flash. Flash is so valuable in the team fights against Jarvan, and that is maybe where our Misfits have a chance. Misfits composition, we didn't mention this before, but they all have very low range. Like Zaya's attack range is not that big. Like sure, she has rapid fire, but she's gonna have to get through a lot of tanks before. So it's not like Jarvan, like, yeah, Jarvan, engage, commence, get on the Cassiopeia, we're gonna have this massive follow-up. No, not really. Like the follow-up is not that good because everyone's very long range. So it's very easy for Cassiopeia to land a very good ultimate in this game here. So Cassiopeia is loving it when the enemy team is running into them, and so is Twitch. Like they have a meat grinder composition themselves, you know. And then you're kind of hoping, like, is this the time where Yasuo is gonna start doing some work on the side lane, or is it just not gonna happen this game? It doesn't seem like it because, you know, Random's Omen finished now, Ninja Tabi finished, like. Haunter has all the premium items to deal with Yasuo, no problem. So we'll have to see. Haunter has trained an NA solo queue with all the Yasuo one tricks. I've seen a lot of YouTubers over in North America that play Yasuo only. Like Ryze and Cassiopeia fill a very similar role, but when Cassiopeia is so far ahead, and you know, Ryze's role just gets so diminished. Infernal Drake is the next Drake. Oi, double lift. What happened here, bro? Your team is going up top side to push a wave, and you just walk up to get mid wave. Man, holy moly! Like, what the fuck? What are you doing, double lift? Come on, bro. Alright, so Twitch is walking up mid lane. His team is here, and the vision they have is right here, and he has no vision here. Okay, so no. Let's take this. I want to assess what vision double lift is working with here when he's taking this decision. So he sees this, and then he sees this, and this. Okay. Alright, so this is the vision that double lift is working with. What he's not thinking about is Ryze ultimate. He's not thinking about Ryze ultimate, and then Jarvan engage is pretty good. But double lift is walking up so far, he can't stealth in time, and I don't know, it's just so unnecessary. Like his team is clearing top wave, they're committing to top wave. Like Twitch should stand here right now. He should be together with Rakan. He should not be mid. Like Twitch should not be mid. It's really bad that he's mid. Twitch should be together with his team. They are committing to taking top wave. Like Cassiopeia's, she pinging here, like, I'm killing this top wave, boys. We're giving up mid wave right now, and that is the plan, nothing else. But instead, instead, double lift walks up. Zion Blitzcrank is in position. Ryze ults on top of him. Double lift tries to flash away, but he gets caught and dies. Nah. Whew. I feel like I need a nap, man. It's crazy how much I'm yawning. I feel like I'm wasting so much VOD time because I'm yawning. I think it's time for a 20-minute power nap after this game. Maybe the problem is that I didn't eat anything yet. But I don't know. I don't eat much in the breakfast. I usually do like 14-hour fasting period, and I eat 2 meals. Okay, that's the dead rat. Right in the snap trap. Not too convinced by this Yasuo still. Like, doesn't seem to do anything interesting. Like, I'm just hoping that we will see some insane wind wall that will deny Twitch all his damage, and that is going to be like the redeeming factor here for Yasuo. But as it stands right now, like pretty useless. And comparing Twitch to Xayah, Twitch has so much better items. Like, he has the Last Whisper, sure, and Xayah has finished hers, but the Infinity Edge is such a big item spike here for Twitch, and Twitch is going to be able to hit so many key targets. Like, everyone on enemy team is key target because, you know, Maxo doesn't have like some super armor. He's a jungler, right? He almost has his Randuin, so it's a little bit, right? It's okay. But Misfits, you know, it's going to be hard for them to hit anything else but tanks. So it's important that they get through these tanks as soon as possible. But I just feel like DPS-wise, TSM are just going to outshine them, and that's where the wind wall comes in. They can deny a lot of TSM's DPS with this wind wall, and that's why it's going to be so clutch. Like, when TSM engages, the wind wall needs to come in, and it has to be good. Very hard for Misfits to face check any bushes. Like, Hansa is pretty much clearing waves, and TSM are just staying in the bush, and I like what I'm seeing here. Oh, Maxlore gonna get one-shotted. Wind wall doesn't do enough. Not close to enough. Oh, Alfari. Nah. Nah, you have to, nah, man. I don't know, man. You have to blame the picks here for Misfits, no? This doesn't do anything, man. But at this point, of course, Cassiopeia and Twitch, they're just stronger than their counterpart, and that is like why they're losing the fights. But I don't know, man. Misfits was just so far ahead and just threw it. They just threw it there, and to be honest, like, if they didn't throw it there, would the game look similar? Like, sure, Doublelift wouldn't be as fed, Cassiopeia wouldn't be as fed, and the game would look very different. Oh, power wheel with the movement. Oh, I feel so bad for Misfits, man. I feel so bad for Misfits because their early game was so clean, man. Their early game was so clean. And now with these death timers, I feel like TSM can base and then walk towards Nashor and be there in time. Misfits, if anything, they should try to pick up the Infernal Drake. Maybe TSM just play it safe and take the Infernal Drake themselves. Misfits are now pinging out the Infernal Drake. TSM is just TPing in here, playing some wards. I don't know. I feel like maybe TSM should just do the Infernal Drake themselves. That is a better trade, in my opinion. Because at this point in time, maybe like Infernal Drake is gonna... Like, Infernal Drake is so huge. TSM could have had it, like, if they just walked straight to it. And I feel like they could have secured Nash anyway, you know? So they didn't need to give Misfits this Infernal Drake. They could have taken it themselves and then just played the same game where Nara is just catching them with waves and they're just standing in a pink ward bush. Because if they went for an Infernal Drake, they would have killed it fast enough to have full vision control topside. And with full vision control topside, it should be free Nash for them regardless. Windwall doesn't do anywhere close to enough, and then double of ults and just shoots people down. Alfari has no ultimate right now, it's on cooldown, and wow. Pavio gets away at least, and then we had this desperate contestation which like cancelled the Nash for a moment at least, and was maybe the best outcome that they could hope for. Svenskran so low, holy moly, almost died. It would be crazy if Ryze just double killed them, which was it was close. It was definitely close. QSS on Yasuo, maybe he can do more. Sincerely doubt it. No mercs on Jarvan makes him like a good target to Sejuani ult, right? Like if Sejuani ult lands on Jarvan, then he's stuck there for a long time. The Cassiopeia W can follow up and Rakan can come in too. So it's definitely like a good target for them to engage on. Like, he's not that beefy. He's a jungler, right? And they get a lot less gold than top laners. But most top lane Jarvans don't build beefy anyway, so... But at least then he would do a lot of damage. Sunscreen no TP. I mean, TSM no TP, Hansa no TP. So TSM are playing this grouped game. They have Baron though, so I feel like they could mix it up a little bit. So the mid wave is in good position for Misfits. Ooh, that's the one for on max low that we talked about. And that's a charm, and that's a W from Double Lift, just killing everyone. Can they just end now? It looks like they can end, but they have creeps in bottom. Maybe TSM can walk bottom and give the creeps on bottom some super power with this Baron. Like, look at those bottom creeps. Yeah, there we go. TSM just walking bottom, giving them the juice. Maybe with this wave they can finish. Like, this wave is massive. Like, this wave is so big. Like, those melee creeps are the most important ones because they're the most durable ones. But let's see now. TSM walking in. Misfits is so sad, man. It's so sad. It's really, really sad because they had like a perfect early game. They had like the dream early game. They had like the best early game of all time. You know, TSM, I'ma let you finish. But Misfits had one of the best early games of all time. Thank you. So this situation once again, Maxwell gets engaged on, and TSM are doing a lot of damage to the turrets at this point in time. You know, those boogers that Cassiopeia is throwing, they do a lot of damage. Double Lift worked himself past the wind wall, so that works too, right? If you're winning so hard, you can just walk past the wind wall. That's an opportunity too. And Misfits, they're running out of options here. Like, even if they wind wall a lot of damage or do whatever, then that's still not enough. It just isn't enough for them to take this game away. And Double Lift, he deserves props, you know. He stayed in the game, and Rakan got hooked in bottom lane, and then all this crap where like Cassiopeia lost his flash, and there was just a massive snowball of shit going wrong. It was crazy. Like, I think the Blitzcrank definitely did his job, but he falls off big time because of this Ardent Sensor crap, and then like Maxwell got caught at one time, and then they got engaged on in mid lane, and then even then, like, with this team fight in mid lane where Misfits got engaged on, they got engaged on, but they got stumped so freaking hard, and that had to be because Zaya got getting one shot, and Zaya was like the fed target that was supposed to carry the game, because she was the one with the big advantage over Twitch. But then, you know, it just didn't work out, you know. And after that, like, when TSM are even with this comp, they have so much more valuable picks that scale better into the game, and Hanser was dealing with Yasuo at all times, so there was no issue for them at all. Yasuo was just chilling away, and he wasn't accomplishing anything with his counter pick against Hanser, and Hanser played phenomenally. I think Hanser played really good. I think TSM like executed on the situation rather well. Svenskeren, like TSM, they did get quite stumped in early game though, and I thought the game was over in favor of Misfits. I really, really did. And you know, if TSM lost this one, then TSM would have no chance of qualifying. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Holy moly. Oh. You know, the hard part now is it's so difficult, you know. It's just because TSM have that one W against World Elite. Wow. I want to talk about this game a little bit. So TSM, you know, definitely it was crazy that they came back. It was that fight in mid lane, and then I just felt like their comp was just way stronger. Like they had the Rakan, the Sejuani, and Gnar was just more useful than Yasuo. Like, Yasuo counterpick against Gnar, it really didn't matter. It just didn't seem to phase Gnar at all. So I'm really unhappy with that pick. It was quite useless, let's be honest. Yasuo was really useless. And Blitzcrank worked out right. It gave them a lot of pressure. He hooked Rakan, and then he also hooked Cassiopeia that burned their flash. And there was a lot of crazy shit going down in the early game. And with that being said, you know, Misfits had a massive lead. They lost the Infernal Drake, which matters in games that go on for so long. Like, if they're that far ahead, they should be able to find a way where they are the ones securing the Infernal Drake without losing it, you know? And what else happened in this game, you know? I want to talk about, like, the implications for the groups, you know? Team Solo Mid, 3-2 now. Misfits, 3-2. Misfits have a game against World Elite. Team Solo Mid have a game against Flash Fools. Both teams need to win to put themselves in a 3-way tie. Team Solo Mid is 1-1 against World Elite. Okay, so we are heading towards a tiebreaker, I guess. The difference, the second scenario, is that Team Solo Mid, if they lose against Flash Fools and Misfits lose against Flash Fools, then World Elite, World Elite get first if Misfits lose against World Elite, and then Team Solo Mid lose against Flash Fools. That could be a scenario too, like pray for Flash Fools. Is that what we're doing? I guess that's what we're doing. I'll see you guys in the next game. Peace.